On Tuesday, March 26, 2013, Jarome Iginla played his final game wearing the Flaming Sea. And today, he returns home to the Sea of Red.
Still with the puck, looks for an open man, spots Iginla, scores! His first! Iginla scores! Jarome Iginla with a 100th goal of his NHL career. Now back to Iginla with room over the line, fires, he scores the 50th goal of the year for the great young star Jarome Iginla.
Power play, moving up is Iginla, rips it, scores! Jarome Iginla with that full shot.
So the top stars on both teams now in a fight. Iginla comes back, throwing a couple of rights of his own.
Tries to cut around Skula. Iginla goes right to the net, scores! Jarome Iginla, number 300 in his NHL career, his 600th point.
Conroy, the right circle centers, Iginla shoots, scores! Jarome Iginla, that's 400! Iginla's loose, he's got a breakaway. Jarome Iginla scores, there it is! Point number 1,000! Into the Minnesota zone, Iginla goes to the corner, pass in front, he scores! Jarome Iginla has scored goal number 500! Yeah, baby!
The Calgary Flames organization would like to thank Jarome for 16 seasons of loyalty and excellence and congratulate him on an incredible NHL career.
Well, now it's time to hear from the guy who used to wear number 24 and then made number 12 so famous for our Calgary Flames. Folks, here he is, Jarome Iginla. Yeah, baby!
Thank you. Well, thank you guys very much. It's very humbling to be here today and very special. The very kind words to have my friends speaking today, and this was harder to prepare for than any speech or anything I've ever done. I thought it'd be easier. I've seen a few on TVs over the years or when I was younger. And it's different. Playing in the NHL, it's not something that you're excited to get a congratulations for retiring. You know, it's an amazing job. And I remember starting hockey at age 7 and going to my first tryout and dreaming of how great it would be. And it's been even better. These 20 years in the NHL, it's been better. And I'm excited for retirement and to be with my family, but I'm going to miss all of you and all of this, and so many great memories. And that's the ad-lib part. I'll start with my my speech, but really, truly, thank you all for coming, and it's so nice to see so many familiar faces and be back here in Calgary. I want to thank the Flames and the great ownership group. You guys have been so good to my family and I over the years. It was a true honor playing here. You guys were so kind. Longtime President Ken King, you know, to give us, our family, this opportunity. It was very special, and it's something that Connie said. It was a little bit, you know, it would have been easier to just, you know, to maybe not have to do a speech. But after thinking about it, I was so excited to be here and my family and share it with everybody, and to come back to the city of Calgary and say thank you. This is home. Come back to Alberta to be here, to say thank you to the fans and to the great organization that is the Calgary Flames, and so many great memories here. And some people, it has taken me a while to announce my retirement. My son is yawning here, putting some pressure on me. I'll get going with it. I played for 5 organizations, and each one was an honor, and it was a great privilege and a great adventure for my family and I. But spending the 16 years with the Calgary Flames a great organization. Thank you so much for embracing me at 18 years old and as a city. And then even though I was from Edmonton, nobody held it against me. You know, but you guys as ownership group, you guys set such a great example for us as players to come here. You welcomed our families into your homes. So many nice barbecues. We'd see you guys at the rink. We'd see you around. You were a part of it. Your humility, your generosity. It was a great example to follow as players. And thank you very, very much. You know, also to get the chance to play here in Alberta. You know, it was something growing up in Edmonton, St. Albert, great minor hockey, strong minor hockey program. But to get to play in Alberta was a real treat. To be on the right side of the Battle of Alberta, right? But no, seriously, there are some. It's an amazing group. Your fan knowledge here, your passion for the game, it has made it an amazing place to play, and to be, and to grow up, to live, and to start a family. So thank you guys very much for that. And as a forward, I love to score goals. There's no question about that. And I got to score a decent amount in the NHL. And every time I saw the puck go in, it was a thrill. But I know I couldn't do it nearly amount without playing with some of the great players that I got to play with, some of the great playmakers. And they're not always appreciated. You know, we get to put up our hands, we get to celebrate with our teammates, but I couldn't have done it without playing with guys like Connie. You're busting, I won't say that phrase, but you give me a hard time, but you amaze, you were better than I thought you were going to be on the first day, okay? Way better. And it was a true privilege and an honor to play with you. You were so good in your own zone. You were up for Selkies, but you should have won them. And you know, playing with you, I didn't have to skate backwards. You're always looking for me. You sometimes got in trouble for passing to me too much, but I loved it. One of the best playmakers. You made me a better player. Guys like Alex Tanguay, a magician with the puck. You know, Christian Uselius, if you got, you know, his stick handling. Damon Lankow, a great two-way center. I played with some really, really good players that made me better, and it was really, really appreciated. And I don't think you always got the credit that you guys always deserved. And another group of guys. I played with so many great teammates in the NHL. Are the enforcers. I played with some. We've always had some good, tough teams in Calgary, and I appreciate that. And I played with some great enforcers over the year. Coming into the NHL at 18 can be pretty intimidating, and especially. You know, the game is not quite as intimidating now, but it's still, you know, back then when you came in, there was more fighting, it was more intense, and it was so nice to be able to look down the bench and see like Sandy McCarthy when I was a rookie, one of the toughest guys to play in the game, and a great guy on and off the ice. Or in our 04 run, we had Oliwa, his energy with Simon, who could score the big goals, but be as tough as ever. You know, Vandermeer I saw in the video. Big Reggie back there. I know he was an enforcer, but, you know, a young Darian Hatcher. It was so nice to have that toughness. You know, Brian McGrattan, where he'd lift the team with his great fights, and he was truly one of the scariest guys around. But you know, it was much appreciated, and it made us bigger as players. And another, you know, job that I don't always think gets the full recognition, and how when you feel when those guys are on your bench and how much bigger you are. So thank you guys. That was great to play with all of you. You know, I think back to some of my best memories. I just want to share a few with you. And it's got to be playing my first game in the NHL. One of them is, anyway, it's when I first I played with Kamloops Blazers. We came here. We lost out the night before. Some of you may have heard the story before. But we, maybe not all the stuff, but we had a game the next morning in Calgary. It was a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock game. We lost out in Kamloops. They told me I was going to play, or not play, but I was going to come up. So I said, okay, well, I can go out to our team party, right? You got to go out and celebrate the end of the year party with the guys. And but so I flew in, and I remember being on the plane going, well, at least, you know, maybe at least I'm not playing, right? But I got off the plane. Mike Burke got me, took me to Al McNeil's office, signed my first contract with Al Coates. Thanks, Coatesy, for trading for me and helping me sign that first contract. It was so surreal, and getting a chance to go down, and within 12 hours I'm playing with Theron Fleury on the line, German Titov, playing against Chelios in the corners, face-offs against Roenick, shooting on Ed Belfour. It was almost like a video game, and it was so surreal, and it was something that I never, ever will forget. And the passion and the energy, and starting a first game in the playoffs, that's got to be I mean, that's something that I'll never, ever forget being here. Other special memories, obviously winning the two gold medals with Canada. Both of them were very special. I remember walking into the room in Salt Lake and getting to see Lemieux's jersey and Yzerman's jersey and Sakic's jersey. And then over on the makeshift benches, my jersey and Smith and Simone Gagne were the youngest. You couldn't even see our full name tags. But that was all right. I thought it was so cool to play with those guys and the guys that I watched growing up. And they were unbelievable professionals. They made us feel a part of it as young guys. They showed us a great example. You know, and Theo Fleury was on that team. It was so special, that tournament, and to win it for Canada, the first as part of the men's team, the first in 50 years. But also Vancouver. That was something that was different. I was an older guy on that team. You know, and the way that final game gone, the city had celebrated, you know, for 2 straight weeks in Vancouver. They found reason to celebrate every day, all the time, 24 hours, and it was pretty awesome. But, you know, that final game, the way it went, when we were up a goal and you're counting down the time, not really, you're not supposed to, but you are, and there's about a minute left and you're holding on to this lead, and they score. U.S. scores against us in the finals. Now we got to go back in the room, regroup, and it's pretty quiet. But then guys start getting it going again, and you start, you know, you're trying to manage those nerves and that anxiety and the energy in the building. But we know when we go back out there, no matter what happens in that period, we're going to remember it for the rest of our lives. And thankfully it went the right way. Crosby scores. You know, we're grown men throwing our gloves off, hugging each other, you know, screaming, and the way the city and the country, that was a memory that I never, ever will forget. But saying that, one of the, you know, maybe the best is still the year of 2004. I know we've heard a lot about it, but it was so special to me and the group of guys that we had, the sense of humors. You know, Noodles played with us there, and he got traded at the deadline, but he'd already put his imprint on us and the culture and his jokes and his roasts. Every day you came to the rinks, if you had a hair out of place, he would notice, you know, and you were going to, if you had a shirt that was maybe borderline, it was hanging. Maybe Rhett was hanging it up, and he had a lot of borderline shirts, Rhett. But we had so many great personalities. Young Commodore with his big hair and his energy. It was just, we had so much fun together. Mika, Reggie. And it was a special year. It was the first year we made the playoffs in a long time. And then with the way the playoffs went, we did things we weren't supposed to do. We had some great vets, obviously Jelly, you know, Dave Lowry with us during, you know, on the team. And we knocked off Vancouver in Game 7. And you know that story, we were in the room and it was pretty quiet, and Connie kind of touched on it. There was something going on in the corner. Me and Connie talked to each other, and I'm probably my head down at the start. I missed that open net. How are we here? And Connie taps me and he says, Jarome, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I really could use something here from my good friend. And he goes, I'm not, and this is maybe the slightest exaggeration, how did you miss that open net? And I'm like, really? We're going to talk about this right now? Like, come on. And then, you know, we got refocused, but we got refocused. This is a nice guy that Connie is. You know, he has an unbelievable guy, but he does have a temper. And I felt it there, but we got focused, and Jelly with that big overtime goal, moving through them. And I remember moving on to Detroit. And now that we beat Vancouver, we moved on to Detroit. And I remember sitting on the bench. It was the end. We lost the first game. It was 2 days later after Vancouver or something. Brett Hall just scored, made it 5-1 or something. And I sat on the bench, and I was sitting, you know, by myself. Daryl, I wasn't going anymore. Daryl didn't play us at sometimes, certain points when it wasn't going as well, giving us a break. But and I remember thinking to myself, and you're not supposed to say this, right, as one of the leaders on the team. I'm like, well, at least we beat Vancouver. You know? But, you know, it got so much better, obviously. Kipper stood on his head. What a goalie. He absolutely dominated that series. We won the next game like 1-0 on Nielsen's goal. Just so many. He frustrated their team, and somehow we beat him. They had so many legends on that team, and what a great Detroit Red Wing team we were able to knock off. And Jelly, again, eliminated Game 6. I'll never forget that. Got that picture at home, too. That was cool. Jelly behind the net cheering. And then we were able to move on. We had, obviously, great coach in Daryl Sutter, and we were able to knock his old team off and get to the finals. And it was awesome. You know, it was also the way the city was with us the whole way. The city We started the red, they started the Sea of Red tradition, and they were so loud in the calls, in the Saddle Dome. And also the Red Mile parties. There were some great ones. It was unbelievable to watch on TV. I didn't get to go to too many. But again, I heard that Rhett and Kwame are here. I know they made a couple of them. If you have any questions for that later, they made their share. But it was just such a great, and even some Edmonton fans we got from the Oilers were cheering for us in that run. So it was so special the way the city and all the things. I know it didn't turn out the way, and it stung not winning, and it still does a bit, to be honest. But it was worth it, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. And it was so special with that great group of guys. I just have a few thank yous. I want to say, I think of the coaches that I had in my career. I had some great ones. Some people say I had too many, but no, I didn't. They all had their imprint on me, and our team that we had, they all had different philosophies, different intensities, different teaching styles, and I look forward to coaching our kids and their teams and trying to pass on some of that knowledge. Although I do know I won't be able to use some of those motivational one-liners that Daryl or Mike Keenan would occasionally use. They were great, and I wanted to say thank you to all my coaches. I played with some amazing players here. The rookie season, I think, for any player is so special, and I had a great group of guys here when I broke in. Theo Fleury, watching him up close, his intensity, his passion for the game, the way he competed night in, night out. He was inspiring, and he left a big imprint on me. Ron Stern, James Patrick, taking under their wing, Dave Gagne. In my first 5 years, Jelly with his work ethic, he's still in better shape he was always in better shape than all of us when we played, when we didn't play. Still in awesome shape in the way he worked, and it was inspiring to try to follow these guys. Dave Lowry with his work ethic, and try to follow them in their paths. And I was very fortunate. I want to say thank you to all of them. And also, growing up, when I tried out for that first team at age 7, I was put in the worst league. I wasn't very good when I started, but when I did go to tryouts, just to give you an idea, that the cards were stacked against me. My grandpa took me to my first tryout. We didn't know that there was no jersey, no socks. So I skated around. And first, everyone has their outfits. It's good players. They've been playing for years. The first time, I'm skating around with no jersey, no socks. My grandpa had to run and get me a jersey from the sports store in St. Albert, and so while I was out there wheeling around, and he brought back one. I wasn't that thrilled to get it, but it was a Calgary Flame jersey. I don't know if it was the last one left at the time, but I'm sure thrilled he got it. So I think not wearing a jersey to start and a Flame jersey after worked against me, and I ended up in the worst league. But I played in St. Albert. It was a great minor hockey, strong program, and I want to say thank you to them, with all the coaches and the great players that I played with. I have some friends here that I started playing with at age 9, and hockey's been great in the NHL. It's spectacular, but it was also fun growing up through minor hockey, and some of my best friends are from those days, and I appreciate all the support over the years and through my career, sharing with a small, some of the journey with me. I'll wrap up. I don't want to be done now, right? I'm not going to get many chances like this again. But I really do want to say thank you to my mom, my dad, my late grandparents. You guys were so instrumental in giving me a love of sports and competing, and more than hockey and just getting me into hockey. You guys have always loved and encouraged me and supported me no matter what, and I never played a bad game in their eyes. They truly never ever told me I played a bad game, and I really appreciate that. I know I did. But I'd also like to say thank you to my wife, Kara. She's been with me the whole way, the whole journey, and our wonderful kids, Jade, who's getting grumpy now, I could look down and see, and Joe and Tej. I look forward to, I know you'd love me to play forever, but I look forward to being home with you and many new seasons with you guys and a few games a fortnight. Moderation, though. All right? And finally, I think of kids. I think of if there's any kids out there who are close and competing and want to making it and wondering if the sacrifices are worth it. I assure you they are. Work as hard as you can. Give it your best. It's a wonderful, wonderful game to be a part of all the way through. And again, I want to say thank you to the City of Calgary, the great fans of Calgary. You really left an imprint on my family and I. You were very kind to us. The Flames ownership, again, I can't speak it enough, and the Calgary Flames. It's been an awesome, awesome experience. Thank you to my teammates. I'm sorry if I left anyone out. Thank you to the whole hockey community. It is a great one to be a part of. Thank you so much.